everybody, welcome back with the Plapper. Platypus is the name, and welcome to another NTR video today. Wait, wrong acronym. CZN. Welcome to another Chaos Zero Nightmare video today. We're talking about the game's biggest problem, all right? And if you don't feel this yet, I promise you will. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about it's too hard to build characters. It's too difficult, and I mean in terms, not in terms of like the memory decks, right? That part's like, I think appropriately RNG. The save data I think is actually in a good spot, especially since the patch. But I'm talking about leveling them up and that kind of stuff. Actually building them. It's too damn hard by, I would say, a pretty large margin. I did some math and we're gonna go over it, and we're just going to jump right into it, right? But if you stay to the end of the video, hopefully I put timestamps, you will be able to, I'm going to bring up what I suspect is the most common counterpoints to what I'm going to say, and I will address those hopefully ahead of time. That way you don't have to leave a comment about it, but whatever, that's life, you know? So we'll get to that at the end. But first, what do I mean it's too hard to build characters, okay? Let's just jump into it, okay? I have math. Barrel is level 50. In fact, let's not even talk about Barrel yet. Let's talk about someone else that's hasn't been broken through yet. It takes 500,000 units to rank up to get the ability to go from level 50 to level 60. Once they are level 50 to level 60, like my Barrel is, it takes roughly 200 books, golden books, to get from level 50 to level 60. That is about another 600,000. Now, how do I assume that? The way I'm getting the numbers here is if we go in here, boom, one book takes 3,000 and 200 books takes 600,000. So it takes 500,000 to break through at level 50 and 600,000 to go from 50 to 60. Now, keep in mind, this is about twice the journey. So it takes about this much. I don't know the exact numbers from 1 to 50, but I believe it's about 50% of the books and experience and stuff like that to get a character from 1 to 50, and then that again to go from 50 to 60. So building characters is too hard. Now, I am going to be using going from level 50 to 60 as an example, but remember that these numbers are roughly going to apply going from level 1 to level 50 as well. Once you hit account level 50, you are going to be able to run the highest level of the unit thing, which you will need because I promise you will run out of units, okay? This gives you 96,000 units, which sounds like a lot. Honestly, it does sound like a lot, okay? But let's pull up the sheet. All right, just to reiterate, for every 60 energy, you're getting 96,000 units, and you need 1.1 million units to reach level 50 to level 60, including the promotion. That means you have to do 11.45 runs or spend about 688 energy just to get enough units, units, to actually do this. Also, once you run the level 6 stage for the books, you get 13 gold books and 16 blue. I think I got 17 blue one time. There might be a slight range on this, so it may not be 100% consistent, but this seems to be roughly what you get. And because, 4 blue books is equal to a gold book, that means you're roughly getting 16 gold books, okay? And you need 200 gold books to go from level 50 to level 60. That means you need to get 750 energy in books. So combining that, you get you need 1,437.5 energy, and you get 320 energy a day, assuming you're 240, which you get 1 energy every 6 minutes, you get 240 every day, plus you get the 80 from the coffee if you log in and get the coffee every day. So if you spend all of your energy, it's going to take 4.5 days of no refreshes to get one character from level 50 to level 60. So, I mean, that's almost 5 days, right? I mean, 4.5 days, it means part of the way through your 4th day you will get there, so it'll feel kind of like 5 days. That is a ton. Now, maybe you're thinking 4.5 days, that doesn't actually sound that long. That sounds like that doesn't take too bad. It's a couple days, right? But keep in mind, this is one character from level 50 to level 60. This does not include the energy and grinding it takes to get the promotion materials themselves. If you come to a character like Mika and I alt tab, you can see you need 36 of these books here, right? I'm assuming you have those for the 4.5 days. This also does not include partners. It doesn't include the promotion materials you need for the partners. It doesn't include the units you need to level up the partners or the experience books you need to level up the partners. It doesn't include leveling up the potential on the characters, which it also has its own mats and it requires units of its own. It doesn't include getting gear, let alone like good gear. It doesn't even include getting average gear and then ranking up the gear using the units for that. So that is only this screen right here, level 50 to level 60. We're not talking about partners. We're not talking about potential. We're not talking about memory fragments. So it's going to take almost 5 days per character to partially build a character from level 50 to 60. And again, I know I've already said it, but that means that's roughly how long it'll take to go from level 1 to level 50 as well. The issue with this is that, like, right now, if we take a look, I have 40 premium pulls and I have 81 free-to-play pulls or whatever, the orange pulls, standard banners, and I have 19,000 gems. I could literally guarantee a character in 51 pulls, then in another 10 pulls, I get to pick any character I want in the game, and I just don't even want to. I can't build them. I don't have enough mats to build them right now. Like, if you take a look at my combatants, yes, I have a lot of level 50s, but like, I still want to play Selena really bad. I want to play Maribel. I want to see if I can make a free-to-play team with like only 4-star units, right? But I just don't have enough mats to level it up. I mean, I have literally spent the last probably 3 days bringing my Ray up to level 50. And that doesn't, like, she was already at level 30, but to get her from 30 to 50 and to get her a partner up to level 50, it took me like 3 days before I could even do it. So I'm going to pull a new character and I'm tapped out right now. I have 0 energy. I have some units because I was doing some experiments before. Basically, I was trying to see how much of these things I get, how much energy, you know, I was running the numbers. So I have some here, but like, I wouldn't be able to rank them up. And look at my energy. I mean, I'm tapped out. I can't even do a daily refresh. So I don't even want a new character right now. So honestly, like, I just think that's too hard. It takes too much energy and too much time to build these characters. So that's my opinion. That's how long it takes. That's the math. Now let's actually talk about what might be some of the counterpoints and why I don't find these ones particularly convincing. But if you have any other ones, let me know in the comments down below. So the first one is, you don't need to build this many characters, right? It's like, of course you're having so much issue building characters. It's because you've built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, almost, you know, I guess 14 characters basically, and you're on your way to 16 characters, right? You've built too many characters. The reason why I think that's a lame excuse is, one, it doesn't need to be hard to build a bunch of characters, at least with their level. And at least like, you don't need obviously a partner for all of these characters. You could just have a couple partners and then switch them around. You know, same with gear. But like, the whole fun of the game is using characters in different teams. Like, the replayability and the most enjoyable part of the game is using different teams in different combinations to play the game. It greatly enhances like the replayability, and not just a little bit. It's if you have, let's say realistically, you have 3 viable teams. The difference between having 3 viable teams and having 7 viable teams, it's not just like, or 6 viable teams, it's not just a doubling of replayability. It's like actually a 5x time replayability, because the way it'll work, like if you play the same run of the same 3 characters, let's say I'm playing Luke, Hugo, and Mika, and I do that run, and I do that run 4 times in a row, I get a little bored. I don't necessarily want to play it, even though it's still fun and I like it. I've done that so much, so you want to mix it up. If you're able to play with like Hugo, Luke, and Mika, and you're like, you know what? I feel like playing Hugo, Luke, and Ray. You know, she can heal, but she's also more aggressive. It'll change the whole dynamic of the team, and it'll feel like a totally different run. So you'll have a lot of fun experimenting with that kind of stuff, and then you do it on a 3rd run, you try a slightly different variation. Well, maybe instead of Luke, I use Lucas. Maybe I use Tressa. Maybe instead of Hugo, I use Magna, and I try to tank up a little bit and use these counterattacks. Like, you keep making these little changes, and by the time you realize it, you're 9-10 runs in doing different characters, and suddenly that first team sounds fun again. Now it's like, it's been a while since I've done my classic Hugo, Luke, and Mika team. Let's do it because that sounds fun. So it keeps each of the individual teams more fresh because it doesn't get the repetition. So it'll just keep the game more fun if you're able to build more characters, right? So fundamentally, you don't need this many characters. I'm like, true, but it makes the game more fun. So I want them, right? And I don't think that this needs to be where the grind takes place. There's already a grind with gear. There's already a grind with potentials. Getting characters to a baseline level of competency, I don't think should be this hard. Another one that I've heard is you don't need level 60 characters. So first, yes, that is true. You don't necessarily need level 60 characters. I will say there's a few pieces of content that I think you might. One, pushing level 10 in the zero zone or whatever is like, it's pretty rough. It can be, and of course you could win at level 50 because people are doing it, but you'll have a much better time typically at level 60 with higher base stats. These are very, very big. The numbers might look small, but like a 10%, or even like a 5 to 10% increase in stats because of the way the stats are, the numbers are relatively little in this game, is actually a pretty noticeable difference. It could be the difference between taking 1 point of HP damage and getting stressed, or your shield completely blocking everything, right? It matters. Plus, the challenges. These challenges actually get pretty hard. And for the higher levels, you might actually genuinely want at level 10 to have level 60 characters because they do get pretty rough. They just have a lot of HP and they deal a lot of damage. So you might actually want level 60 characters. But also, in addition to that, this is pretty much the same argument for characters from level 1 to 50 because it takes about the same. I don't know the exact numbers, but it takes about the same from level 1 to level 50 as from level 50 to level 60, right? So that is another thing worth noting, that this problem still exists. I've also heard you don't need to level characters up to level 50. You could just run easier difficulties. So in addition to that being kind of inherently unfun, it also just doesn't really make sense because if I pull a new character like Chiron, or let's just say I want to use Selena because she sounds really fun, and right now I could realistically in the next day or two get her up to level like 30, it would be weird to run like a DPS or support DPS level 30 and then I have a bunch of level 50s in the team with her. Like it would just make her, it would be like kind of a lopsided run and it wouldn't feel right. And so my other characters would be way too strong for the content that she's doing, or she'd be way too weak for the content. So you don't really want to have one character be really weak. So maybe if you keep all your characters at level 30 and you never level any of them up, you could just keep doing level 30 content, see how far you can get. But like once you get a character that's a higher level, you kind of want to bring the whole team up to that level so you can continue pushing content and with relatively balanced. I've also heard that this is a problem that will go away in time. And yes, I do think that is true, but I don't think you should underestimate how much time it can take. Like again, almost 5 days to go from 50 to 60, which means it's almost 10 days. I mean, it's 9 days to go from 1 to 60. And that's only for experience and books, not including, like I said, the promotion mats, not including partners. Maybe you don't need a new partner for every character, of course. So like that's not 100%. And they're all the other things, right? The gear, the this, the that. It could become very long. If you're spending 10 days per character, you're not going to catch up for a very long time unless you're doing a lot of refreshes and they're releasing new characters over time, right? So yes, it will be something that will be solved over time. As they come out with events, you're going to get an influx of this and that, of this currency, that currency, as they just like seasons renew, new battle passes. It'll speed it up, of course. I'm not saying that it won't, but I think it'll take longer than the people say. Is like, just wait. It's like, yeah, but will I be caught up in 3 months? Will I be caught up in 6 months? Like, how long until I could use my full cast of characters? So yes, I acknowledge that point, but also I think it's an unnecessary thing. Honestly, that's about it. I don't have that much more to add. If there's any points you wanted to bring up that I didn't address, you can put them in the comments down below. Maybe I forgot to bring up something I wanted to, I don't know. But to just kind of summarize it, I think it takes too long. I think it takes too long, and it's bad for the game because it really, really hurts the replayability factor. It hurts the creativity factor, which is kind of tied into that. But the ability to think is like, oh man, I really like, I have, you know how many people I get comments of like, God, I want to play Beryl so bad, but I just can't build her because I've built all these other characters. And I'm like, well, you know, so they don't even get to do what they see other people doing without a lot of investment. And right now it's disincentivizing me from pulling because I actively don't want a new character because I can't even build them, you know, like I still have all these characters that I want to play and try out, and I want to try them out in all kinds of different teams. So if I get a new 5-star, I can't even do anything with them at this point. So I don't think it's necessarily healthy for the long term of the game to have it be this cost prohibitive, where it makes it so you don't want to pull necessarily, and you don't get as much replay value out of the game. I mean, I think those are good. And again, I think an easy solution here is make it easier to level up both partners and the overall level, and then keep the grind in the memory fragments. Let us get some like okay stuff, and then have a lot of min-max stuff, and then make the potential take longer, right? Like, I didn't even account, I don't know how long this stuff takes to grind, but I assume getting 5 of this, 5 of that, this, and this, 10 of that, 10 of that, this is not an overnight thing itself. Like, I assume that this will take a while as well. So the long-term building of an individual character is already built into this part of the game. Not to mention, min-maxing save data is like a never-ending, like, you know, wheel. You could always get a slightly better RNG on, like, oh, now I got these epiphanies with this god power, and I gotta copy that card twice. Let's go, and now I finally got the good gear. Like, it's almost a never-ending ladder of power purely in the save data system itself. So I just don't think it needs to be so long and so time consuming, and well, I mean, so slow to actually just level up the character. So let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with in the comments down below. But yeah, I promise if you don't feel this pain yet, you will feel it unless you play super casually. But if you're trying to play the game as much as I am, it's been easily I think the game's biggest problem, in my opinion. And I think people should start leaving Owen alone and let them leave the story how it is, and fix the things that make the game potentially less fun, and, you know, work on and make the game more fun and more enjoyable to play, as opposed to that kind of stuff. But that's just me. Let me know what you think. That's all for this one. Much love for platypuses per platypus. I will see you in the flip vlogs. Bye.
Watch the views go up. Content king, never down, always showing up, hitting milestones. The fame never lets up. Click that link, diving deep, never get enough. Gaming, vlogging, every trend, always first.